Hello, folks. Buckle up because I'm going to go through this one fast. This is an important one because I can almost guarantee you that 90 to 95% of your competitors do not know what I'm about to talk about here. First of all, let me talk about a scenario. Let's say that 10 years ago, you put $100,000 of a client's IRA money into an annuity with one of those wonderful GLWB riders, that guarantee a roll up every year, a step up in the value, and then ultimately that person can take lifetime guaranteed income from that annuity. So let's say that 10 years ago you put in $100,000, and let's say that $100,000 didn't grow. That's their contract value, right? But then let's also say that their benefit base, which determines their income, grew to $200,000. Well, over 10 years, that's what? 7% compounded, right? Which was very common 10 years ago. So that grew to $200,000. And then ultimately the client is going to get, let's just say, $15,000 per year in guaranteed income. We all know how that's taxed from an IRA, right? Because the IRA hasn't been taxed. We all know that it's 100% taxable when that client starts getting their income. Well, then wouldn't it be a beautiful concept if you said right before activating the withdrawal benefit rider, let's convert it to a Roth IRA. Let's pay taxes on whatever we need to pay taxes on. Let's convert it to a Roth IRA so ultimately that income stream is 100% tax-free. What would the tax be based off of? Would it be based off the $100,000, its contract value? Would it be based off the $200,000, that is the benefit base? 9 out of 10 people will say the contract value. They'll say that small $100,000 because that's a client's true value in their annuity, right? Well, okay, then before I give you the answer, let's use an exaggerated scenario because many times that's the easiest way to send the point, to send the message. You put in $100,000 10 years ago, the annuity is so great, the benefit base is a gazillion dollars today, which means that their guaranteed lifetime income is $1 million per year. When you put in only $100,000, stupid exaggeration, I know, but it sends a point. So you mean to tell me that the IRS says that when they convert prior to that $1 million a year income stream, that they're only going to pay taxes on the contract value, the $100,000? That would be too good of a sales concept. The IRS is ahead of us, folks. 2005, 2006, the IRS says no. It's got to be a fair market value. It's neither the contract value or that benefit base. What the IRS did was they mandated that insurance carriers calculate the fair market value. What is the fair market value? It's the contract value plus effectively a present value calculation of those additional benefits that annuity has. Because there's huge value beyond just $100,000. If you're 10 years into the contract, you have $100,000 sitting there, you have a gazillion dollars a year coming in, that has to be taken into consideration. So here's an exact example. My client's example. My client calls me up actually the end of last year, after he's been in this policy for a year. He says, Charlie, we only put in $185,000 into our GLWB annuity. The market was down, the bond market was down, the stock market was down. You mean to tell me that per this letter from Gillico, I have $227,000 in contract value in the annuity? I said, well, first of all, David, great client of mine. I said, first of all, David, you don't really have to worry about that because we're not planning on converting anything. And you're not age 72, which at the time, that's when he would have had to have taken required minimum distributions. Folks, fair market value is for Roth conversions and also required minimum distributions. I said, so David, you don't have to worry about that. But what that is the fair market value of your contract. That is your contract value of $185,000 plus a present value, so to speak, of that future income stream, to oversimplify it. So folks, this is not mental gymnastics here just to do mental gymnastics, whether it's RMDs, whether it's conversions, or none of that stuff. If your client has a GLWB, they are going to get a letter that says, hey, here is the fair market value. They're going to come to you. It's going to be a value that is not the benefit base. It's going to be a value that's not the contract value. They're going to ask you, what does this $227,000 mean? Now you know their answer.